What is up, everybody? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. In this one, we're going to be playing God of War Ragnarok. I played this game multiple times before, but I wanted to give my analysis of basically what I think throughout the whole entire game because it's kind of hard to put in a 40-minute video. And I wanted this to tell all my thoughts about what I thought throughout the game and just what I think of the game overall as I play mission to mission. And so on my first playthrough, I started with this cutscene, and again, I was in love with the music. I love the music, where it goes bum 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 bum. That's Faye's theme song right there. So of course he's thinking about her. And so again, this is going to be like a commentary over the scenes and everything, and the gameplay, and just what I thought about everything. And just my opinions overall. And so I think this is going to be a really cool video just in terms of just my thoughts and everything. And of course he's making arrows for Atreus. I thought that was really cool that he's caring more for the son. And who comes in the background? Of course it's Atreus. There's really no one else. But I was confused because I saw him and I kind of saw him in the older boy form, but I didn't expect it because I didn't see any playthroughs or anything.
Hungry?
So when I first heard his voice, I was like, "Wait, what?" His voice has changed, and it's totally different. And so it's crazy because I'm like, "No way!" I was expecting his not puberty voice, but now he's grown up and everything. So I was like, "Whoa, this is cool."
Oh.
And so basically, they go out of this cave, and I knew winter was coming, so I was trying to figure out what my thoughts would be on this new world, because we knew that once you kill, I forgot who it was. I think it was Balder. Then it goes into, or Magni Modi or Balder, one of them. It goes into a new age, where it's this winter preparing for Ragnarok. And so I'm glad they got this part right. And so basically we exit this cave and we're just taking in the sights and everything. It's so cool. And I loved everything about this when I saw the snow. And then they gather here. This is just a regular thing I was looking forward to, but yeah, it's very interesting. Again, I'm doing this on New Game Plus, so I'll have the weapons and everything just to speed it along. But it was so interesting to see Atreus grown up. And then this one right here, this is from the first game at the end. He I think he had a little secret of the giants he had. I just didn't know what this was, I think, yet. So I wanted to figure more of it out. And this whole secrets between the father thing happened in one of the first game, too.
Ready.
And so I love how they're like a perfect team, because at the end of God of War 4, it was crazy. The fight between them and Balder was absolutely amazing. And so basically we have this just starting the first mission. We go through all this snow. It's good that we get to see some wolves and some action here. Get to see the snow. Get to see how actually bad it is.
I hope Fenrir got some sleep. Maybe he'll be ready to eat when we get home.
And when I heard Fenrir, I was like, no way. They actually made this tie-in to actual mythology, because it's kind of like Thor Ragnarok.
He keeps eating.
Is that you had Fenrir in it. Instead of Hela, it belonged to Loki. And then I got to here, and I was a little bit confused at first when I first played the game, because I'm like, who is that? And then we realized it's Faye, and I'm like, oh, no way, I've been waiting for this. Because at the end of the game, she said she would take vengeance and kill Kratos no matter what. And so we finally see it in action right here. Very cool. so basically, you have this whole chase scene, and I love that they started with this chase scene. It makes you very intense in the beginning, on your edge. For people play this game, they're still trying to learn the controls, and so they're trying to learn about the blocking system and everything like that. And so you're trying to escape, and you're trying to block and parry, attack against Freya this whole entire time. This scene, this reminds me a lot of Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 game, you know, where they had a bunch of trees going down, you're going down a snowmobile, and it was so cool. This is a scene I saw a lot of people struggle at first because they're like, how do I defend? How do I attack? But if they played God of War 4, they would kind of get a little lesson in that. So, and then it was so cool. It's just so cool to see Atreus and Kratos team up. It's such a cool thing to see because their dynamic is so on point throughout God of War 4 to this game. It's so amazing. And then you got to this part. It was so cool seeing this because it showed Freya's rage, but it showed that she's not after Loki. And then Loki, or Atreus, wanted to shoot her, and then, but they both had mercy. So it was kind of cool to see that. And then they escape Freya for now. It's kind of cool how she has this bustling sound that brings out a whole entire canyon and just brings it down. I thought that was really cool. And then they finally get to do the protection stave. I love that they kept this in the game. It's part of the home, and it's part of their identity in this world to protect their home.
We made it.
Let us go home.
Becky, Svana, up.
And so we'll go through here again. In the God of War 4, this is where you first started, is that you just rode a boat through this area.
Keep hoping she'll let it go.
And you would ride it into the area you're supposed to go. And so right here you would walk up with the giant log, you know, up to the home. And it's a little bit different with snow everywhere and not a river. So it's very interesting. Oh yeah, yeah. But killing Baldur brought on Fimbulwinter, the whole snow and everything. So it's very cool that they have the lore in that. So you got to here, and basically this is where they step to home. And then they have the whole credits on the side as that this goes through this opening area.
I got it.
And then Atreus just have this love for animals, and especially in the first game, he loved animals, and kind of recognized it in this game too. So he cares about the dogs very much. Kratos does too, but he just doesn't show it. He's more of this intense kind of guy.
I will get the deer.
Oh, you won't get the deer because Atreus just got it.
Go on, girls.
Kratos is reflecting a lot because he has a lot on his mind. Faye, Atreus, mission, Fimbulwinter, Ragnarok. He has this a lot, so it's kind of cool that they added all his emotions, just thinking deeply.
He always says hello.
Atreus.
Fenrir.
Now I'm not like a big fan of dogs, so this scene didn't really make me cry at all. It was a sad scene, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't have a personal connection to it.
It's okay, guys.
But it's interesting that they added a death into the game firsthand within the first mission, so it's very interesting seeing this.
Still hungry? Come on, boy. You need to eat. Eat. What? Too big?
It's interesting that they have Atreus Atreus basically just being sad here, then the opposite of Kratos, where he's a realist and realizes it's gonna die, and then Atreus doesn't want to. I'm more of Kratos' position. I'm a realist and see what's gonna happen. When something is going to happen, I know it's going to happen, and so yeah, you could be sad, but you have to be ready for it.
Prepare yourself.
For what? He's still eating. He wants to live.
And so basically here, you just have this relationship between father and son where it's like a sad moment. So Kratos just needs to relate to him more. Because he still wants to treat him like a warrior. And Atreus kind of has to accept that.
Brave boy.
And we'll learn later in the game what Atreus' true emotions and actions really feel.
But you can rest now. Okay? I'll be okay.
I'll be silent for the rest of this.
You can let go now. You have to let go. Sofna. Afra. Tesu. Sofna. Hethon. Sofna. Sofna. Sofna.
This moment in the game I was a little bit confused by, just because I didn't know the full realization of it yet. And Kratos probably thinks it's a soul going off in the end. So it's kind of tricky of what's going happening here, because in reality it trapped him in the ball, but also, or sorry, in the knife, but also let his soul go.
Betrayed.
What? No. It's the middle of the night.
Should it be dark then?
Please.
I don't know. Maybe it's different in Midgard.
What for? Drinking is all we ever do, ever. It's not enough. We can't hide forever.
We do not hide. We prepare for a fight for which we are not ready.
Thank you, Kratos. You have to train as much as you
Time is
can
running out.
to survive.
The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. Whatever Loki's supposed to be doing, he's supposed to be doing it now. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard,
I thought this was really cool because it's the conversation we needed. And where this game is headed is that Atreus wants answers. He's a kid, but the father is not ready to let him get those answers on their own. He's not ready because he doesn't see he's trained enough. So I thought that was a really cool dynamic in this game, just to see where the game was headed and what they're going to do.
I have a moment where
And so basically Kratos just allows him to grieve, and just gives him space being the son, you know? And so Kratos needs to grieve himself a bit and just move on. And the graphics are insane, and the details of this insane. Like, look at the doorway and how they craft the runes, specifically in detail in the scene. Very cool.
Well, I recognize that dour expression anywhere.
I was glad to see we got Ramir back. Like he's back in the game. Again, I saw no gameplay or spoilers, so everything was literally just assumptions of God of War 4
How's the lad
afterwards.
taking it?
Not well. He goes to bury him.
Oh, damn it. All right, brother. Good night then.
It's a very tense scene where everyone's sad, and just a lot to think about. Again, this playthrough will be heavy spoilers, so just realize that going forward. Is that any weapons I get, any enemies I defeat, I'll basically kind of spoil it ahead of time because this is just context of like what I think of the game and stuff like that. So just warning you in advance. And then I got to this scene, and I'm like, whose hand is this? He is having another dream. I knew that on my first playthrough. I just didn't know what was going to happen.
Kratos?
And then I freaked out once I first saw her. Right.
Are you joining me?
Here. And so, basically, when I first saw her, I was just freaking out because I didn't think she would actually come to life. Like visions of the past, you know? Because in God of War 4, we never saw her. We saw her ashes, basically, in the pocket, which is not actually her. So when I saw her face, I was like, no way. That's really cool to see this. So this is just a flashback of, like, way back then.
At least it didn't suffer.
And so it was really cool to hear Faye's voice and who she was, because in God of War 4, that's basically the whole story, is like they showed Faye and who she was. And so it's really cool that we get to be alongside her face to face and show it. See her personality was and stuff like this. Very opposite from Kratos, because we saw that dynamic in God of War 4, where she would give hints about who she was in God of War 4, and Kratos was the exact opposite. So to put that in real life and show who she was like, okay, this is really cool, because it showed who Kratos was and who Faye was. Now we'll see more of this in the story, but it was just so cool in my first play round just to see who she was. And plus, I think she's beautiful. I love people like the look of her, like redheads in a way. It was really cool. And then, so I was like, this is really cool to see Faye in person.
You're not hiding.
And this mission was just good. We just traveled around, did some chores for her. Basically, just meeting Faye for the first time was just extraordinary. Because it just showed the original dynamic between them.
Pick that one up? Good boy.
Faye. Faye.
Because we saw that vision of her in God of War 4 when they were on, I'm blanking on it, in the light.
Is running out, my love. And there is much to do.
I thought that was really cool. A vision of it to Kratos. Especially with the hand where she put on all the trees and everything, and we'll see more of that later too. But I was just like, "Whoa, that's really cool that she had a vision to him." But also it said time is running out, and she's right. We still have a lot to do.
Where's Atreus?
Hence my bellowing. You never came back from burying the wolf. It's been some time.
Cannot be far.
And so basically we're on a mission for Atreus. Let's go hunting, folks. So I'm gonna go back down.
Tracks heading down to the frozen river. That's most likely where he did the burying.
And we go through here.
Through here.
Just like the first game, it's cool that you can, it has this thing where you can just chop between it, ice, and everything falls ahead. Again, it still needs time to load the next section, but it's kind of cool.
Almost every night.
The bad old days in Greece?
No. It feels like phase.
Greece, I love how they had that callback.
You don't mean to say you're talking to ghosts again, brother?
No. But it is something
Okay.
more than memory.
So I already got the runes and everything, so basically I'm just going to show you all the cool moves I learned through the game. And this is my fighting style.
And we're not alone.
I'm going to use multiple them through there. Personally, I love the runes. Where are they? Oops. Let's use some runes, shall we? Okay. Let's use our fists from now on.
Blasted raiders.
We should not be this close.
We should check on the protection state. There's a tree up ahead, yeah?
It's still cool that they have all this in the game, like all the stuff we had from the original river, just frozen over. So it's kind of cool just to see all this. Just like the first game, you have to throw your axe to go keep moving.
We argued.
Again, I have a lot of stuff, so let me show you. So I have like 11 million hack silver and 26 XP. So I played this quite a few times.
Only sensible.
And I'm just going to keep collecting more. Now in terms of puzzles and stuff like that, I'll just do the easy ones of what I know.
Learn to survive.
But I'm not going to be like going like, okay, well I solved this puzzle, I solved this puzzle. We're just going to keep on going throughout. So I'm kind of talking over to her. They're talking right now between Mimir and Kratos. Yeah. I'll do that later. I use the auto pickup as well, so it's just easier to pick up items. Bring it on. It's kind of cool to do combos in this game too, because okay, let's switch to the blades. The blades aren't really a spoiler either. I mean, you got them in the last game. Goodbye. Let people come down. There we go. Like I said, I played this game multiple times, so I know where enemies are coming from. I love that move because it brings back from the old God of War games where you just press square, square, triangle, or yeah, square, square, triangle, swing, swing, and then slam on the ground. So I love that they added this move. Then they added these crates back, chests, graves, whatever you call them, just like that.
Torches. And the trail leads into that cave.
Well, you know where we are going. I'm sure we can find a quiet way in.
Nope. I want to go loud,
Do that.
and so I could do it fast.
Are these the raiders you rescued the wolves from?
No. They have not been here long.
Let's do this. Yeah, I don't really know. I could disable it. I'll leave them doing that.
The trail goes through here. Leads deeper in.
Basically, we're on the hunt for Atreus while fighting enemies. Now, this is a new one. Like I said, this is a new weapon. I said I would show you spoilers. This is it. Basically, this is a new spear, and I'll show you like why it's special later. But it can replicate itself a lot. Yeah, why not? We'll get this one. Why am I getting all this? I don't know. It just looks cool every time you open it. Bring it on. Okay. Keep moving.
Atreus, are you here?
He is not here.
Perhaps Atreus came here seeking shelter. Kept moving.
So we're just gonna keep moving. Switch back to the axe for now. I'm just gonna keep switching between weapons, especially as we get the harder enemies. It's kind of cool.
Where are you?
This one I'm like, great, another fight. It kind of mirrors God of War 4, where you go through the whole journey, and you're just fighting these big enemies. Like I think you fought the troll at first. So I'm just gonna use my weapons and just take out this bear as time goes along. He has to, I forgot, he has to do it in layers, because I can't attack too fast. Okay, disable this. I don't really care if he takes too much health off, I have a lot. This is a cool move. I think they had this in the original God of War games where he spins crazy like that and you can take out a lot of enemies. Thought that was kind of cool. When I first saw that I was like, whoa, it's literally glowing blue. And so basically we get to this cutscene. I think we're gonna kill the bear. And then it turns into something, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then I see Atreus. And the first thing I was thinking of, like, is from the first game, can I turn into an animal? Well, he just did, and I was freaking out. Focus, heal. And when I first saw that, I'm like, no way. Kratos taught healing to the son, just like in the first game. Where he can heal from his injuries. And I thought that was really cool. They brought that back in from the baller fight. I'm like, this is so cool. But then they have a whole conversation about what happens, and basically it just means that he turns into an animal, killed a bunch of people, and is sad about it. Sad about Fenrir and everything, but it was interesting they turned into an animal, and I assume we're going to do more of it in the game. But I was really fascinated by it because I'm like, no way. They brought back that line, and Loki can literally shapeshift if he wants to, kind of like Loki in the Marvel universe, where you can go into a snake, right? And so it was really cool seeing this in the game because I'm like, no way, Atreus actually turned an animal. Now he can't control it yet, but it was so cool to see it. And I was freaking out the first time I saw it because I was like, no way, they actually brought that ability into the game, and we get to see it from Atreus or Loki, because it's just part of his personality and who he is. And so Kratos learns from this. Now he's saying it's not your fault. But the thing is, we need control and train in order for you to do this. I think that's really smart of him to do this because Atreus doesn't know the capability of this, his ability yet, and so it's kind of cool just seeing that in action.
I need more than that. I need answers. Answers you don't have.
Answers only your mother had. So she withheld.
What if there was someone who could help us?
And so basically, this is the thing where I first saw this, where I was like, Kratos had one way of thinking, which I kind of do myself, is I think you should train and prepare for war, but also Loki needs answers at this time and kind of needs to have who he is, because he doesn't want to kill Thor and Odin because he wants answers from them, which we'll learn later. And so there's two quarrels going on, and it's the whole relationship father and son is that if the is that you have those two different personalities, and it's a matter of trust in this game. And if you have a son and you have and you have this relationship, you kind of understand where it's coming from on both sides. Because I'm kind of with Kratos, where he's had this experience and he's treating this like war, as he did in the past. And that's kind of like where he's coming from. And because he fought in many battles, and he's trying to prepare for this, but again, Atreus doesn't have any battle experience, and he's trying to figure out answers another way. And that's the relationship we're going to see throughout the game, is what's going to happen and who's going to win in terms of thinking between all of this.
To repair the protection stave and get home.
What happened to the protection stave?
You did.
So you're blaming me?
I am not blaming you, Atreus.
Well, tell your voice that.
And so basically you have two different dynamics here between father and son. We see early in the game.
Say the word, Father.
Okay, let's just take him out. I know I got hit. That really didn't do anything. Whatever, keep going.
So, lad, besides your gift of language and hearing creatures' thoughts, are there any other new magical abilities?
And of course, we'll hear a lot of talking from Mir, but what I like about this game, and you'll see a lot, is that he doesn't really, it's not really about Mimir anymore. He had his thing in God of War 4, and it's really about other characters. Because we saw his mentality and thinking a lot in God of War 4, and this one, you didn't really need more of that. It's really cool they added a lot of voice lines to him and everything. It's just that it wasn't really needed. And this is where we learned the bears is where he... sorry, I think it's up here more. And he has the ability of the mother where he can protect, rebuild the stave with spells and magic he knows, taught from Faye, and I thought that was really cool. They show more of that in this game. Faye lives through Atreus, or Loki in the sense, because that's what she wanted to name him. And you see Faye through Atreus the whole entire time, because he knows the spells the mother had rather than the father. And this is where we saw the bears and then killed. And a sad moment.
Intent does not matter. Only consequences.
I agree.
What can we do?
Nothing.
Because someone could have robbed a bank,
Of course.
and they probably had good intent, but the consequences that they go to jail afterwards is why you don't do it. That's my personal philosophy in terms of that matter. But the bear died, now the younglings have to survive. Okay, just keep moving, but we'll learn. Do some more fighting.
Storms are coming.
Isn't it cold enough?
We are almost home.
Let's do this. Bring it on.
Gotcha!
Incoming fire!
Now, when I first played this game, like the first 2 or 3 playthroughs so far, I didn't know how to quick turn, because before you would just press the back button, but they changed it where you put away the weapon now. But I learned over time you just press L1, the shield, then you quick turn. So it's just one extra button. I thought that was very interesting when I first saw it.
It's been like this all night.
And so, I thought that was an interesting thing they did. I was a little different, and I didn't expect it. So I was like, "Oh, did they remove this?" Oh, they did. And then I realized, no, it's you just had to press shield. And I kind of knew it too. I just didn't know fully. I was 20% sure. That's why I didn't really use it. So basically, we go back to the house.
Hey, Spana, you're not scared.
Atreus!
I'm just checking on.
To bed!
Yes, sir.
Let's go here.
As evenings go, that was entirely too eventful. Though I admit it was a bit like old times there, for a moment. The three of us navigating some hitherto unhappened upon patch of forest.
Been a while since you've joined us, if that's what you mean.
Ah, well, just tired, I suppose. You've seen one deer hunt, you've seen them all.
How can you feel tired when you never sleep?
There are other kinds of tired, lad.
And we go to sleep. And I kind of knew what was going to happen.
My brother. Things are always brighter in the morning.
Go to sleep here. Wake up in the morning. And I kind of knew what was going to happen because I saw that post-credit scene, God of War 4. And once I heard that, I'm like, here we go. This is going to happen. This is what's happening. Here we go. Now again, we didn't really see Thor in the God of War 4. We saw like his outline and everything. We didn't really see like who he was, what the character model looked like, because all this was going on. And then it ended right here.
Can I come in?
And then I heard his voice, and I'm like, no way. Because again, I didn't really see the character models, didn't really hear anything. So this was a really cool conversation. I was just excited for. And I'll tell my thoughts about everything that's going on.
Lots to talk about.
Because the relationship here is that you have two strong gods. One that killed the entire pantheon, and another one that killed entire species. And so both of them have a lot of experience in terms of hate. Kratos just doesn't trust it. Thor, on the other hand, likes to play with it. He's a little bit too cocky in a way. And so I love this whole dynamic right here. This whole entire cutscene, I was on the edge of my chair, loving every single second of it, because this is the first time I saw Thor right there as a redhead, and his look and everything. I just didn't know how he was going to end up in this game. How his hammer was, because I was expecting Thor's hammer to be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe Thor's hammer instead of this version, so it's a little bit different. And then they brought mead. It's interesting because mead isn't really drunk by many people in this day and age. Mostly in the European countries, people drink it, not really in the States or in other parts of the world. And so they showed the two weapons right here. This one was forged in Svartalheim, Thor's hammer, and then the other one was forged by the dwarves. I think in Svartalheim, but we aren't too sure about where it was forged. But two powerful weapons against each other. I love the dynamic of the silence, awkwardness. Atreus is trying to learn everything. We also have the ravens in the background. Keep in mind that too, because we saw the Odin ravens in the first game and what they meant, and so we know Odin is close by or just watching them.
Why are you here?
And so I thought something was going to go down right now or something. I didn't expect them to talk a little bit, so it just made me more happy to see more of this conversation. What's going to happen? Odin is watching. And so
You seem like a calm and
I thought they were going to drink more mead. It was very interesting that they didn't do that. Rather, they just talk for a bit.
A calm and reasonable person.
Personally, I want one of those cups in real life. That would be so cool, like the iron grating against wood. It looks like really cool design.
Save a moment calls for calm.
And plus, it's from the game, so why not?
Yeah.
It looks cool. This is where we first saw Odin, and I'm like, no way. This... Here we go. I was like, what's gonna happen? And when I first saw Odin, I never saw depictions of him before, so his eye patch is going to be different from the Marvel universe. He's wearing more gold than ever, as you can see in his like arms and everywhere around him.
There was some misunderstanding.
Now I thought Odin was going to be very, very mad right now, very mad, but he's very, very calm, so which kind of threw me off a bit.
Now, what you did to his boys. Self-defense. Dying is what we...
Which I'm surprised by, because in the first game, in God of War 4, it was surprising of the big deal they made between Magni and Modi, because it was like, you killed these people, you're gonna get revenge, or Odin's gonna come after you. Instead, he is very calm in this moment.
But he had his uses
And then he's talking about Baldur, so I thought that was interesting. Because I didn't think Odin really cared much for Baldur. I know it was important, but it wasn't like this important.
You're no fun anymore.
What do you want?
Peace.
How about peace? How does peace strike the esteemed, retired god of war? How about we just don't kill each other? How about you stay home, kick up your feet, seek no quarrel with me?
And I knew Kratos would never do this, because he makes actions in all the God of War games where he has the decision, but instead his revenge and everything takes overcome, and he cares more about the stuff going around him rather than peace. Again, he's the god of war, not the god of peace.
Understand? And then that's it. Then we're square. Shit, I'll even sweeten the deal. I'll let you keep the prisoner that I know you stole. That's right. I know you're in here. Somewhere, you silver-tongued little shit.
Why should we believe a word that you?
And so this is very interesting, because Mimir, again, this is the first time Odin is actually seeing him with just a head. Same with Thor.
What kind of wisdom is that?
It was also interesting to see how Mimir is saying that Odin is lying. He's very calm, Odin. Has a very calm demeanor. So it's very hard to know if he's lying or not.
I'll settle your debt with my ex.
And with all the stories Mimir has told to Kratos, I guess, is kind of brainwashed to the idea where he knows Odin is always a liar and you can't trust him. So he needs to make a decision whether to have peace or no.
That's really all you want, isn't it? So what do you say?
No.
No.
And I kind of knew that would be the answer when I first saw this. Because I just knew who Kratos was by playing all the God of War games.
Don't take all day.
And then this literally gave me a heart attack because I didn't expect him to fight immediately. Spoiler warning.
About time.
And so I thought that was a parallel to Baldur where he just went up very high up in the air.
You're not from here. We got a tradition called a blood payment.
And I thought that was very interesting because I never heard about that before in the mythology of Norse mythology of a blood payment. So I was like, this is really cool. Then we go back to the temple, and I was freaking out because I'm like, no way, we're actually going in the underground parts of the temple where we saw this.
For Baldur. Now show me this god killer I've heard so much about.
Since I'm overpowered, this fight's going to be a little bit quicker.
You insult me holding back like this.
And so it's kind of interesting because Thor doesn't really know the full... like, he knows the full strength of Kratos, and just making fun of him right now. He's just looking for a fight, not really to kill him. So I thought it was kind of cool. And of course, they brought back Ghost of Sparta, the term, and brought that from the PSP in the term used for Kratos, and I'm like, no way. And I was freaking out at that too.
Look at you trying to remember your old moves. How were you ever a god of war?
And so we get through this part, go up. I thought it was so powerful. He got on top of the statue, and then they ruined the statue. Because in the first game, they looked at the tier as a statue, and now it's just gone. Kind of like Thor's statue. And then we get to this fight.
If you're not fighting dirty, you're not fighting, right?
And so I thought they have these statues that you can use, just to bring them down. But
Was it luck? Did my son die to blind fucking luck?
no. And so basically you have this scene where he calls back the hammer, and then you try to fight between him, who's stronger.
Get a clean slate. That ain't how it goes. You're a destroyer, like me.
And then this one, because I had the top, I was like, no way. Oh, we died?
Oh no.
And I was like, how is this possible?
Say when we're done.
And then this moment was insane to me because I'd never seen this in gaming before, where they killed someone and the character brings them back to life. Ever have I ever seen that in gaming? First time I've ever seen it, and that mechanic, it was so cool literally to see it firsthand, just because of how it was done, you know?
Stop holding back.
So I'm just gonna defeat him. Now this fight in general was so cool because you got to see who Thor was, how strong he was, what he did with the hammer. And so of course Kratos knows what Thor's sons are and who they are. And he's a father and everything.
This is for movie.
And I thought this was really cool how they have the dynamic of how they can control both of their weapons, and it's stuck in a crisis right now where they're trying to figure out the weapons.
Model father.
And then boom, the strike comes in, and it's so cool just to see that a whole entire lightning bolt striking through. So it was really cool to see that dynamic. What's also interesting is that the snap. It's very interesting that Thor has to snap his fingers in order to return the hammer every single time. I thought that was an interesting new mechanic they brought in to Thor, and I was like, huh. And so, yeah, I thought every time he calls his hammer, it's like a parallel. And so I'm just gonna use Spartan Rage, why not? We're in the end game. Well, not literally end game, but the end of this fight. And I was also really drawn in because I loved the electricity he has with the hammer and on him. And then we'll get more of that later. But it was so cool just to see that they brought it real to life. The details they have within Thor on his skin and everything. And so basically, I don't know why that punch, we finally saw the God of War, but it finally brought it out in him. So the blood payment has been paid. So it's very interesting to see that dynamic detail right there. And so we'll see more Thor. And I think everyone, no matter what, who played this game, they think this fight was absolutely insane. Because you saw who Thor was, and you saw the difference between Kratos and Thor. And I think that was really, really important. Because it shows two powerful people, the rage between two rageful and powerful people between each other, you know? And so that's why I love the fight in every instance, and between just Thor and Kratos in general, because two powerful, rageful people with two very similar backstories fight between each other. And so this scene is where we saw Mimir, and I'm sorry, not Mimir. We have Brock and Sindri, and it was interesting that they brought them back, which is good because we didn't see really the last of them. I knew they would come back because it's very important to this game and who they are. Got to see everything frozen over again. It's so cool how everything's just very frozen. I think I got some like barnacles over there. And it's very interesting just the dynamic relationship we see between the environment and the snow. Let me see. Okay.
Last thing there, Tiny. If you got Aesir at your door, then I reckon your protection stave's busted. Once you chase Odin off, you got another place to
So basically, they didn't really change this place at all. It's basically the same thing. I think it's a little bit more fog than you saw last time. But basically, this is the same tree as you saw last time, just to load in different environments. And so I'm not really a fan of Brock. He's not really my favorite. He always complains and stuff like that. And I felt he's not really my favorite in this game or God of War 4. So basically we get back home and we get to explain to Atreus what happened. I thought he would be hiding the floorboard again. Because he was trying to hide for Odin or something. I don't know. I thought that would pull in that parallel from 4.
Are you hurt?
Are you?
And this is when Atreus is very worried. And it's really cool that they built a father and son strong relationship between the 4th game and this game. And I really like that dynamic between that.
Pay for the roof. And he invited me to Asgard.
It's so cool that Odin was very nice in this scene and throughout the game, but again, it's probably him lying most of the time. Very, very peaceful attitude, you know?
Good. Why were you searching for Tyr?
If I told you I was looking for him, you would have said not to.
So you hid the truth from me.
I wanted to tell you. I really did, but now that you know, there's something you should see.
No.
And then again, this whole trust thing.
You have broken my trust.
Then let me regain it. Let me show you what I found.
Because in every family situation I've seen, no matter who it is, it's just human nature not to trust each other. And so that's why it's so important that they brought this theme into this game, and why I really liked it, because it was very different from God of War. It showed the emotions between people. It wasn't about fighting all the time. It was more about trusting, family issues, the dynamic between father and son, and this shown like what's bound to happen in the future. Because Kratos wants to trust his son, but at the same time he wants to prepare him for war. And what can you truly do?
Gather your things.
So basically here we are going back on an adventure. And I like how they brought back the 2 things from the old game that we found. That one's from the temple, and that stone thing was what we pulled after the Bagni and Modi fight. And then our gear, which I believe we should see a costume change. I don't know if it's here or in the future. I think it's when we get the one in the future.
Are you ready? Go.
Here we go. I like the parallel between God of War 4 and this one, where it's a hole in the roof. And so it was very interesting to see, and just like what Baldur did to the roof, so... Apparently they don't like roofs in Asgard.
Change, you bastard!
Okay, so I'm going to end this first part here, and we're going to continue on the second one as we go along. So thank you everyone for joining me just on this commentary. There's a lot to unpack in every single scene, every single second here. But thank you for watching this. Let me ramble on, and until the second time you see me, hopefully you guys are doing well, and with lots of love and respect, guys, I will see you guys next time. Bye.